Hey guys, I want to thank you for checking out today's broadcast. My name is Jonathan. If this is your first time checking out one of my broadcasts, a little bit about me. I'm 39 years old. I found myself, I've been overweight my whole life, and last year I was 520 pounds, and I knew I had to do something, or else I wasn't going to be around much longer. So I tried to think of, what to do to lose weight, and I've had a lot of experience kind of yo-yo dieting over the past 38 years, trying to lose weight, and so I wanted to take some of the things that I've learned over the years and try to kind of mash it together, and that's what started this whole challenge. The big things that I wanted to do is I wanted to stick to it for a set length of time that was longer than I've ever stuck to any way of eating, and that's why I chose to challenge myself to stick to it for 3 years and create this channel to give myself accountability, for the 3 years. And then the other big goal that I felt like I've missed the mark with in the past is the amount of weight. I've always chosen what I thought was a healthy amount of weight to lose, or a weight that would get me to what I was weighing in high school when I was still overweight. And a lot of times I do reach those goals, and then I find myself at my goal weight and I'm 280 pounds and I'm still overweight. I'm happy to have lost the weight, but then I'm still overweight. So the other part of this challenge is that I am going to lose 300 pounds, and it's been going great so far. Last week I weighed in at 334 pounds. So I've lost over 185 pounds towards my goal of the 300, and I've been doing this for about 8 months, so that's great. Carrie's checking in saying hi Carrie. I hope everything's going great at home. Today is day 247 of my 3-year weight loss challenge. I don't know if I said that. If anybody has any non-scale victories, I'd love to hear about them. Any questions or anything like that, I'd also love to hear about that as well. The It was 4th of July weekend. I hope everybody, in the States, I guess, but I hope everybody had a good 4th of July weekend. Today is kind of weird for me because I work for myself, or it's a family run thing. And so I worked today and was trying to get some things done. And just like even right before I started the stream here, I had messaged a guy, and he responded back that it was he'd have to get back with me because the people he needed to get in touch with were off work because it was a holiday for the city. So it's kind of been a day where I've been trying to get some things done, but then half of the country isn't working, so it's tough to get some things done. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I had a great weekend. It was really good to get out. It was beautiful weather the entire time. Could have been a little bit cooler. It was a little bit hot, but nothing that was unbearable. By far, one of the most enjoyable 4th of Julys I've had in a few years. The kind of reason for that, not only being very large, but for a couple years we sold fireworks, like the fireworks that people buy that shoot them out of tubes or have fountains and things. We sold them for a couple years, and that kept me busy during the 4th of July. I'd be selling fireworks all day and then kind of come home and just shoot a lot of fireworks off at night. But it was very busy for me from start to finish generally. Then last year, 4th of July, we still had people over. We did not sell fireworks, and we kind of got out of it after last year. We decided not to sell them and get out of it. And so this year I was able to spend a lot more time with the family. I wasn't away with the selling the fireworks at the stand. And So it was nice to be able to spend the time with the family, and we had people over. Uh, Carrie says it wasn't my favorite when you sold fireworks. Yes. The nice thing about fireworks is that there's a lot of money in fireworks, so it's worth selling if you do it. But it's a volatile industry, and uh, you know, it was, yeah. This year would have been difficult too because we didn't sell a lot of fireworks, and there was a fireworks shortage from what we found, I guess. And so, anyways, it was nice to spend the time with the family. Did a lot more activity than I could have done any other holiday in the past 5-7 years, and that was nice to be able to kind of be much more active. We did a fire and had people over on the 3rd and shot fireworks, which was really nice. I did a I guess I should go in order of the weekend because that's kind of on the 3rd. I wasn't on stream on Thursday or Friday because I had to go out of town, and a couple things happened with going out of town. The first, I guess I'll get into, is that I did listen to a new book. The book is Finding Ultra. It's written by Rich Roll. It's a great book. He's a whole food, plant-based athlete. He found eating a whole food, plant-based diet helped him to lose weight. When he, in his 40s, like when he turned 40 is when he switched to that way of eating. He used kind of plants to fuel him to do some really amazing feats. He is, in what Ultraman is, and what he didn't, anyways, the Ultraman that he participates in is it's twice the length of a full Ironman, and they do it over the course of 3 days. So I believe the first day they do, I don't know what the split up is right now, but I know they swim and bike the first day. They might just bike the second and then just run the third. I'm not sure of how the other days are split up. But anyways, I had been talking about that I wanted to listen to a biography about somebody who ate this way. This book was exactly what I was looking for in when I picked it up, and that was great. I really felt that he wrote the book. He's a really good author. He has his own podcast. He's very vocal about this way of life or this way of eating, and he has other things he talks about with like meditation and things that he's into. But I really liked the book. I felt like he captures a lot of the competitive spirit that people have, and it was just nice, and he does a good job telling his story. Obviously, that helps, doing, he laid out the book well, and it kept you attentive. But I kind of binged that. I was on the road for like 12 hours of driving, or 10 to 12 hours, and between the driving and kind of other stuff, I listened to his whole audiobook. Really enjoyed it. It motivated me to go out and run when I was out of town, and so I'm gonna try to pull that up here, but I didn't have it queued up very well. I believe it's this Elgato here. Yeah, put it above the chat box. There we go. So I had because I did it the other day, it might not have it. No, if that's adding activity. So it was queued up on here that I could look at it, but let me see if I can see. Oh, right here. So here we go. That should pull it up. So when I was in Lamar's, I decided to check. Lamar's is just the city near where I was, but I was staying at a hotel, and it was late in the evening, and I decided to check to see if there was a bike path or trail near me, because there's a lot of them in these small towns. And I looked up, and it happened that the bike trail dead ended like at the entrance of the hotel I was at. So I was kind of like, well, I can't get out of it now. Like, if it would have been a couple blocks, or if it would have been a mile for me to get to the bike from where I was, it would have been different, but it was right there. So I kind of felt like I was obligated to get out. I had the clothing and all the stuff that I was going to wear to go run with me, just in case I did get an opportunity to go run. And I decided to go out. It was pretty late in the day. It was actually probably after 8 p.m. before. It was 8:20, actually. It says it on the screen. That's funny. When I decided to go out and start this run walk, or as they said in the Sick to Fit book, a jiggle jog is what he called it. So I went out, and kind of I was feeling really good during the first while of it. I'm having a hard time. One of the things I was trying to do was to keep my heart rate at a consistent spot, and it happens that it was between 130 and 140, so that's why I was in those zones more. But I really tried hard to keep my heart rate down from hitting that 160 plus range. Like, that was because I feel, from what I was listening to in the book and other things, is that when you push that or have that kind of high heart rate, you're not helping yourself, especially when you're trying to train to do an endurance style run. So I was feeling good. I did the first 5K. It was the fastest one I'd done yet. And the first 5K was, I don't know if it tells me 5K time or not, but the 3-mile time, it doesn't, oh, that sucks. It doesn't add it up here for me, but it was 54 minutes. It was under 55 minutes for the first 5K I did. And essentially what I did, I was feeling really good. So I was like, well, I'll just keep going out this direction. And we were heading north there, and I just kept going until I hit that 3.1 or 5K distance. And then I turned around and came back. I was much slower on the return trip. The second 5K, I was wishing I would not have done that to myself, but I also kind of intentionally wanted to push myself further than I would pass my comfort zone. I knew that if I did that run 3 miles out, I was stranded. I was by myself at a hotel. There's nobody I'm calling to come pick me up. There's nothing, I have to make the distance back. And so it was slow going on the way back. I don't know if it's got my pace anywhere in here. What's funny is I tried to do, yeah, so really, I guess you can see it on the blue line there, where it kind of falls off like a cliff, right at, it says 53 minutes. You probably can't see it on the screen very well, but right in the middle there, or not quite the middle, but about 40% through that blue, there's a cliff there. That's where I turned around and started walking back. It was pretty slow. So I was feeling great about it. I really felt good about my 5K time at first. And then kind of what happened as I was running out, when I hit right at, I remember because my watch vibrated, but right at the 1 mile mark, there were 2 high school kids that were walking on the trail, and they happened to walk on the trail like right in front of me as I was coming from a different direction. And so I kind of had to pass them to keep running. And, they kind of, I think, had to slow down a bit to let me pass or whatever. But anyways, I pass them and I just keep running, and there was a decent amount of traffic on the trail, not a ton. Just there was some other kids, there was a family walking, and then like a police officer driving on a four-wheeler, making sure the kids weren't doing anything wrong. And so I was just heading out the one direction, and I just kept going, and I got the 5K done. It was less than 55 minutes. I turn around and I kind of start walking back, and kind of wish I would have tried to start running back a little bit to see if I could keep the momentum. But once I turned around, my pace just dropped. Like I went from walking at like a 19-minute mile to walking at like a 28-minute mile. My feet were pretty tired and I was pretty done. But I turned around and I started walking back, and I feel like I couldn't have been 100, maybe 200 meters back or yards coming at the back, that whatever. And those girls are still walking, and the kid, they were still walking, and I came across them, and they had walked the whole time. And I felt like I had just run one of my best runs I had done. I mean, it was the fastest run, and they had walked, and I was barely ahead of them. I mean, they probably would have walked in 58 minutes or something like that. So I was kind of a little sad that I had worked so hard and all they were doing was just walking, and we made the same distance about the same amount of time. But I am happy I did it. I really wanted to push myself, and it was a good thing to push myself. It was really dark by the end of it. I thought that because the police officer drove by one more time as I was on my way back, and it was getting pretty close to 10 when he went by me, and I was worried he was going to kick me off the trail. And but I never saw him again. And it was after, I think it was, the whole workout took me 2 hours and 13 minutes was the total length of the workout. And I started at 8:20. So that means I finished at 10:35 at night. So it was pretty dark. But I was happy to, hey, what's going on, Anthony? I'm just talking about the weekend here. I was traveling, and when I was out, I did a quick little 10K while I was out. It took me 2 hours and 13 minutes, so it wasn't quick, but I was really trying to push, the length of time that I can keep my heart rate up, because that's going to be important for the Sprint Triathlon that I'm freaking out about right now, because it's only 11 days away, and I have to train every day for the next 11 days if I'm going to survive this. And it's one of those things too, where I feel like it's, I think I'll be able to do it. I'll be able to finish the triathlon. I just want to finish it somewhat respectable rate. Walking, that last 5K I was walking, the pace I was walking was pretty slow. I felt, I felt awful walking that slow, but I got it done. And I kind of then after that was Thursday night that I did that. And I kind of took the weekend off because everything from my knees down has been pretty sore. I used a lot of muscles and ligaments and things like that. I would say that the interesting part about it is that my right ankle, that's been bugging me the most, has really not hurting me, or there's very little soreness in my right ankle. My left ankle seems to have more soreness in it after doing that than the other one. So yeah, that was the start of my 4th of July weekend. So I traveled on Thursday, Friday, finished the book throughout the travel, pretty much throughout that whole time. And then Saturday, we actually did our fireworks on Saturday instead of doing them on the 4th. There was some other things that were going on in where we live. So we had people over for fireworks. I got my swim set up figured out with the water and the strap to hold me back. And my brother, who's doing the Sprint Triathlon with me, he actually came over early and swam in it, and he liked swimming against it. I mean, he said it was more of a workout for him than actually swimming in a swimming pool. How that translates to the difference between actual swimming and, this, I'm not sure, but I'm going to try to get in the pool a little bit more. We had a lot of people in the pool throughout the weekend, so that it needs to be cleaned and stuff like that first before I get too crazy with swimming in it. But yeah, we had people over on Saturday just doing everything. Being 180 pounds lighter and having people over just made things so much easier. We like to entertain and have people over, but that requires a lot of, picking things up or making the yard tidy or making sure the swimming pool's ready for people to use. And we had made a fire so the kids could make s'mores, and that was a lot of me moving logs and larger pieces of wood that last year I don't think I would have been up for doing. I think that I don't think we did a fire last year when we did fireworks. I think we just shot the fireworks off, and I probably manned the grill and cooked a bunch of meat and stuff. Would have been the difference, I guess. And that was interesting too, because of the way we eat. It was kind of up in the air. We didn't end up serving food to anybody. Well, we did serve food to one person that is a friend of ours that eats a whole food plant-based diet. And they ate some of what we had for dinner because we had extra and they hadn't eaten. And so Carrie offered it to them and they enjoyed it, which was nice to be able to share some of the food that we eat with somebody else and them not really have to modify it to, to meet their palate. So yeah, we had the fireworks and that was a great time. We had like a dozen kids stay at her house one night because my wife's crazy. So she let everybody's kids stay over. So that was kind of busy with that. And then yesterday on the 4th, we went out. There was a band that was playing kind of in a neighborhood near us that it was like a free neighborhood concert. And so we went and we checked that out. And that I had one of my non-scale victories. Carrie says, I'm a sucker. All those kids, no, yes, absolutely. It was like, oh, can we have this kid stay over? And then, well, this other kid wants to stay over. And it's like, well, if we're going to have those two kids stay over, then this kid's going to feel left out. And then, well, we should let this other kid. Anyways, just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. But yeah, so I guess I'll tell the humiliating story before I tell the non-scale victory. So, and it's my wife's fault, but it's a little bit my fault too. So we have, I'm sure I've talked about it a long time ago on the stream, but folding chairs at 520 pounds. The new not new, they've been out for years and years, but the fabric chairs that have the cross legs that fold up, into a whatever that they fold up, that are popular. Everybody has at ball games. Everybody takes to parks. It has all over the place. I am pretty discerning when I sit in those because at 500 pounds, you can tell when some are not going to hold you and some do hold you. And in fact, when we were at our family event where there was a bunch of people at, and a couple of the other family members are as big as I am, we have a conversation about, he was showing off, one of my relatives was showing off their chair and how comfortable it is for them. And, it sits up higher and it's got a firmer back, and it's things that make it easier for somebody large like me to get in and out of, and it makes a difference. And it was nice at that reunion that I didn't have to be so picky about the chairs that I sat in, even though I kind of still was. But moving on, we were at this concert and Carrie brought a chair with her, and she says she takes no responsibility. Sure. The chairs that I have, we use them for an event where lots of people come and use them. And I intentionally buy these chairs that I get them from Sam's Club that are just, in my opinion, a better chair for more people. They're not great for 500-pound people, but for regular sized people that are using them, that I get them, they're really great chairs. They have probably a 320-pound weight limit on them, which is low. Like, you could usually get away. But one of the things that I've always noticed about those chairs, though the chairs we have, or any type of chair that folds up and you can put it into a bag chair is what you call it, right? And so, those chairs, if you set them on grass, the friction of the grass keeps them from overextending, and it helps keep the chair from breaking. But if you put the chair on concrete or hardwood or a smooth surface, the friction from the foot pads isn't as much, and somebody who's larger like me can overstress the extension that they're designed to go and cause problems. I've watched people break the chairs because of that. Like, and that's something that I've just noticed, is that, if a larger person's in the chair, you want to encourage them to be on grass versus being on concrete or a slick surface. So anyways, I usually am pretty picky, but we were at this concert and we had one of those chairs, and I was like, well, I'm going to put it on the sidewalk and sit on it. It's not really a big deal. It wasn't going to be a problem because the chair was going to hold me now that I am svelte and I've lost all this weight. So I'm sitting there, and I'm sure you can figure out where it's going to go, but we also had our dog with us while we were at this concert, and the band was between playing two different songs. And the guy up on stage, for whatever reason, said, oh, hey, at least the dog there likes us, or the dog's enjoying us. And he was referring to my dog that was sitting next to us, that was just hanging out and being pretty good for being at the first real loud, like, concert that. And so, as he's talking about the dog, and kind of as he's finishing up talking about the dog, I don't know if I had moved my weight or something because of him talking about my dog or whatnot. But in that moment, my chair broke underneath me, and I dropped straight back, and it went from like being a regular chair to like a chair you'd see maybe like on the beach or something. But it was like the whole back end was broken out, and I was like laying on the ground, and the guy on stage is like, oh, he just broke his chair. Don't look. And so, just the timing of it couldn't have been more ridiculous, that he had just drawn attention to me, and then I broke the chair. That I've not broken one of those chairs because I don't sit in that. I usually I avoid them. I used to have, and we still have, chairs around that I bought from DXL that were probably more expensive than you should spend on a chair, but they were like 500-pound weight limit chairs. So those are usually what I sit in, but I didn't this time. So Carrie says, so terrible. Yeah. Yeah, it was not the best thing to happen, but whatever. Maybe I needed a little bit of that humility. I was feeling pretty good about myself. Kind of, one of the things I've talked about too is, like, we had just eaten dinner at my friend's house, and Carrie brought a dish for us to eat. The kids were going to eat hamburgers and hot dogs that they were making, but Carrie brought a dinner just specifically for us. And I've been really trying, and I talked about it before, is that there's other people like that they do so good, and then they let something like a 4th of July holiday allow them to break their diet or to mess up their diet. And for me, it felt really good to be able to go to a 4th of July event, sit there, and everybody might have been like, what in the world are they eating between those 2 pieces of cardboard? But it was delicious. I had 2 sandwiches that I don't know. Carrie will have to put the info in the Discord, but it was something from Well Your World that was a recipe that was supposed to be simulate like tuna salad. And so we made it into a sandwich on the Ezekiel bread. The lemon flavor was really strong, but it was really nice. But anyways, it's nice to be able to sit there and be comfortable in my skin and to be eating and to be showing people that you can go to an event like this and you can make the plans and you can prepare and you can enjoy yourselves. And really, a lot of people might not have noticed, that was something that we brought for us to eat, but yeah. And then Carrie said everybody else was eating it as well. There was some other people there that wanted to try it out and they enjoyed it. And it's something that I was kind of going to get into too, is just that other people around us are starting to take note of the changes that are happening with us. And then, like I said, they're seeing us make a 4th of July work within our diet. And so then they're asking us more questions, or they're trying our foods, or they're, contemplating the idea with their friends. And, and that's what I love, that it's influencing people to question the way they're eating. It wasn't really, I didn't know what I was going to do coming into this. I knew I didn't want to be doing a bunch of stuff by doing exercise and working out and to fix my problem with the diet. And I really feel like I'm getting such a good grasp on the diet now. And it's great to see kind of our changes start to influence others around us. The first ones are Carrie's parents, and they've been doing wonderful with it. And Carrie says making homemade hummus and setting some to the side for us before oh yes. So that was another great thing. You bet. So they had a friend of ours that had us over. They made homemade hummus, and they knew that at a certain point, if they just mixed everything up and didn't add the salt and the oil or anything to it, that we would be able to eat it. So they made hummus that we didn't have to make ourselves. We didn't have to make our own hummus, and they made, hummus for us to eat. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. I had seconds of the hummus. I had 2 of the sandwiches that we brought. And then the sweet corn, which I was telling a story about. The sweet corn is, me and Carrie tried some sweet corn about a month ago that she might've gotten from the Whole Food store or the grocery store near us. And we boiled it in water and we tried it, and it was really just not good. Both of us kind of were like, you really felt like you could taste the cob of it, or like and so it really kind of turned us off from the sweet corn. And then they had sweet corn there that was still in the husk. It was cooked. We thought maybe that they had boiled it, and it was really good. And I was like, wow, I hope they didn't use salt and it somehow got through the husk. And then what we found out is that they actually microwaved it. And I had never microwaved sweet corn on the cob in the husk before. And it was some of the best sweet corn I've ever had. I think I only had 1 ear of it, but I would have eaten more. I think they ran out actually, and people were, because that's how I even found out it was microwave. Somebody was asking about how long they were supposed to microwave it. And I was like, what do you mean microwave it? They're like, yeah, we just put it in the microwave for 3 minutes and it cooks it. And so I'm sold. I'm going to probably do that more often. And right now corn's coming into season. I think that's kind of what I have to toss that up. That corn that we had a month ago corn's probably not in season. And just like what I've talked about it with oranges before, sometimes you just get a bad orange. Maybe we just got some bad ears of corn a couple weeks ago, but it was so good. It was. So anyways, I haven't even talked about the non-scale victory I was going to talk about. So I broke the chair at the concert, which sucked. And then turned around. So Carrie had brought like a picnic blanket, let's call it. It's a large mat to sit on. And so I ended up having to sit on that mat, which after sitting there for an hour was not very comfortable. But at first it was nice that I was able to sit down. And the non-scale victory for me out of it would be that I was able to sit cross-legged, Indian style on the mat and not be uncomfortable. Like I could sit like that for as long as I wanted. And it wasn't like because a lot of times my hip or my left knee will get real sore, even trying to get into that type of position. And it was really awesome to be able to sit like that and sitting on the grass, listening to a concert and hanging out with the kids. It was really a fun time. And, it was kind of just funny because I remember in 2013 or whatever it was when we lost a ton of weight, the last time I was down at 285, and we went to an ATV park because I love driving four-wheelers and side-by-sides. And it was snowing out and we had a rope with a sled and they were pulling people around on the back of the four-wheeler. And I remember being able to sit down cross-legged on that saucer and being pulled. And that was such a cool moment. And that reminded me of that last night, was that, kind of reaching that point where I can sit cross-legged comfortably is really not something that you think about day to day, I guess, but being able to do it was nice. Especially after coming off of kind of being a little humiliated by the chair breaking and falling on my ass. But yeah, that would be the two things I would say were my non-scale victories, was sitting cross-legged, and then really the interest people are taking in our diet outside of, talking to them. That's really been great to see. And, it's starting to get there. I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm getting thinner. I was talking to a friend of mine today who's lost a lot of weight and he's doing great. And he's ready to take on the world. He's lost over 100 pounds and he's under 200 pounds now, which is just awesome for him. And he has been eating more fruits and veggies, but he's mostly low calorie, and he's been doing a lot of running. He's really been kind of inspiring me to get out and run and do these bigger, longer runs. And he's ready to, to talk, to tell his story to the world, and I kind of feel like I just feel weird with it. So, congrats for my friend. Yeah, no, he's doing amazing. But I feel like I'm still, I got to get down, I got work to do yet. And, but it's great to have people that are noticing along the way. And that was another, I guess, I don't know if it would be a non-scale victory, but Carrie pushed me on Wednesday. I didn't push it. I guess Carrie posted on her social media my most recent update photo and then tagged me in it because she got sick of me not posting on my own social media my update photo. So that got a lot of comments from friends, and that was really cool to see as well. But I feel like I'm getting close to I don't know, figuring it out. For me, it's hard. Like, I really feel like I need to get under that 285, which is kind of the lowest I'd gotten 8 years ago. And then I'll really feel like I'm making progress. I feel like I'm just still trying to make up for all the damage I've done over the past 7 years. Like, I was there, and then What's Carrie saying? She said, I posted here so I could see it first. You said you wouldn't make such a bold move without my blessing. Yes, she did allow me to sign on to my Facebook page and see that she had posted this on Facebook. But it was only visible to me, I guess. So she wanted to see what my reaction was and that it was me that called her up and not a divorce attorney before she made it a public. But you were happy when I said it was okay. I got such an itchy nose today. So yeah, yeah, I mean, it was nice to get the praise from people that know me. And also to spread the message about the poop, right? The I don't eat anything that poops on my shirt there. So happy to out you. Okay, sorry. So I guess killing that chat box there, that's funny. I made the chat box go away so you can see my shirt, and then it gets rid of the text, it gets rid of the chat and doesn't bring it back. So anyways, I don't need anything that poops. People love that shirt. So yeah, that's about everything I had. I mean, the weekend was such a fun time. I hope, Anthony, I hope you had a good weekend. And that you were able to enjoy some nice weather, because it was really nice here. And then I'm happy that I'm really getting recovered from doing that 6 mile walk, but I was disappointed with how much recovery it was taking me. I still have some soreness kind of in the muscles on the front of my shin, which is crazy, but I really feel like doing that helped me also with my stride and my walk. I've been trying to learn how to walk in these barefoot shoes, and I think going that distance and forcing myself really helped with that. But this week I should be on schedule to be on every day. I will have the weigh-in on Wednesday. I'm going to be on tomorrow. I don't think I have anything that's going to get in the way of being on Thursday and Friday. So I'll be on every day this week. If you guys have not already, make sure that you do subscribe to my channel, click on the icon, turn on notifications, all that other stuff. Yeah, the 4th here was uneventful. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was, so yeah, if you guys also, I have, the Instagram is @Fasting. That is FAHSTING. I'm not great with posting on that. I'll try to get better. I keep saying I'll try to get better. I was talking to my friend about this stuff, and I was just like, I have time to get on and go live, and then I got a lot of other stuff going on with family. Carrie wants me to go watch a doubleheader ball game this weekend tonight. I want to ride a bicycle for 10 miles. I gotta also watch kids and other stuff. So for me, this is kind of the biggest focus, is just getting on and doing this and making sure I'm checking in with you guys. But we also have the Discord, which Carrie will probably put the recipe for the Your World's chickpea salad, because that was really good. Probably didn't need to be on Ezekiel bread, and I would have eaten it. I might have eaten more if it wasn't on the Ezekiel bread, actually. But it was great. So anyways, follow the Discord. That link for that is down in the description below. That'll be active for 1 week. Thank you guys for checking out the stream. We're kicking butt. I'm really looking forward to this weigh-in. I think I'm going to do good, or I might do bad. All right. You guys have a good day.